Welcome to a new What I Eat in a Day. I had to prepare my breakfast the evening before. Yes, it's evening. It was very bright outside. Because I was having chia pudding, and I can write the measurements in the description how I made it. I wanted to make a chocolate one, and even though I love dark chocolate, I always think chocolate chia puddings and oatmeal, they just come out too bitter. So I went ahead and added 4 dates that I had soaked prior. Then I added some pea milk, a pinch of sea salt, some cinnamon, a little vanilla, and then the cocoa powder and chia seeds, of course. I actually prefer blended chia seed puddings. I feel like the texture is more pleasant and it's just easier to digest. And when you mix them, the nutrients can be more accessible for you. And of course, since I had dates in it, I had to blend it. Although you could also just blend the dates with the milk before adding the seeds in case you don't want to. But yeah, then I let it sit in the fridge overnight to thicken, and in the morning I just added it to a bowl and added some banana on top. I ate the rest of the banana on the side, by the way. I also thawed some frozen wild blueberries overnight and added them. And in case you're wondering, this was still a little too bitter for me, but still good. I also made myself a matcha latte. I just love matcha lattes. I can only have them when I have pea milk at home. I've reduced my plant milk consumption since they're so processed. I mean, if they are store-bought, but I still have them from time to time because when it comes to dairy, I like yogurt and, fermented dairy, but regular milk is not my thing. And I tried making a latte with homemade hemp milk, but the heat just made it curdle, which wasn't very nice, so I don't think it works. I just use store-bought pea milk for my matcha lattes. I think homemade would work if I made like an iced matcha latte, but I prefer the warm ones. My lunch is gonna look boring to you, but sometimes the simplest, most boring looking meals are still really delicious. So I had leftover quinoa that I cooked with some turmeric. Then I had my lentil mushroom burgers that you can find in my ebook. The link is in the description. And in the ebook, I pair them with hamburger buns, but you can eat them like this or roll them into meatballs, whatever you like. The texture is amazing, the flavor too, and they are so high in protein. This full meal alone had about 34 grams of protein and about 26 of them came from the burgers. I didn't have the time or willpower to add any other vegetables than cherry tomatoes, and these are also so good with ketchup, so I drizzled some ketchup on top. Pomegranate is so underrated, I feel like. I buy them frozen because it's more convenient. So yeah, after lunch, I added them to a bowl with frozen blueberries and let them thaw until the afternoon. Then in the afternoon, I made a yogurt bowl. So I added Greek yogurt, then I sprinkled on some hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, some raisins, and cinnamon. There was a study where they found that adding honey to yogurt increases the probiotic survival, like in the gut. And I'm not a person that sweeten my meals like this, but I felt like trying it. Honey is nice to add to, like a tahini sauce to balance out the flavors. But this time, I must admit, it was too sweet for me. So I likely won't do it often, maybe sometimes, because sometimes you grow to like things. For dinner, I was inspired to make something from my ebook again, and this is one of the easier recipes. Not that the other ones are like super difficult, but yeah. It's just a sheet pan with a tahini sauce, and I actually forgot to add like 1 or 2 ingredients. I don't even remember which ones. I guess I was too confident since it was my own recipe, but I hadn't made this in a long time, so I should have followed the recipe properly so I didn't miss anything. But yeah, if you want to make this, you can find the recipe in my ebook. So as you can see, I first prepared the vegetables, and while they were in the oven, I prepared the sauce. When you're making a tahini sauce, it's really important to add water gradually to thin it out, because if you add too much, it can just end up becoming like watery and not really a sauce at all. About halfway in, I added frozen kale, and if you use fresh, you can add it right away and have them in slightly bigger pieces, but since I used frozen kale and the pieces tend to be quite small, I didn't want to risk that they would burn. This meal is so simple to make, yet delicious and healthy. It would have been tastier if I didn't forget, I think it was garlic actually, because I checked afterwards, and if I remember correctly, it was garlic that I forgot. Anyway, that was everything I ate this day. Don't forget to check out my ebook, and of course, like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one.